Hello guys, welcome back to a new video. In this one, we're going to do a backtesting session. I'm going to show you the model that I trade with every single day in the markets. I'm going to show you how I do my top-down analysis, how I choose valid zones, how I confirm the idea of going long or short in the lower time frames, how to avoid fake outs, how I manage my stop loss and TP, in other words, the trade management. So basically, I'm going to show you my thought process the minute I open the chart till I close it. This backtesting session is going to answer a lot of your questions. So I get a lot of DMs every single day, different questions, and I'm going to try to answer all of them in this backtesting session. Reminder that all you're going to see in this video is based on dtfx concept. So if you relate to this style of trading, if you think that this style of trading fits your personality, then take a look at the free masterclass on YouTube. I'm going to put the link down in the description and spend some time studying it. And now, without any further introductions, let's just get started. So first of all, quick refresher of my model. Although I shared that in previous videos, you can find it in my playlist, right? That's not the masterclass playlist, that's another one. This is my playlist where I explain my model. I'm also going to link it down in the description. So basically all I'm going to do is, you see this, right? This market cycle shift from this high to this low. This is a zone. Inside it, this is a fractal, or the SNDR responsible for breaking structure. All I'm going to do is, once price comes back to the previous range, I'm going to look for continuation to the upside. Now this is another zone from this high to this low. And once again, once price comes back to the range, we're going to look for continuations to the upside, right? Now this might look easy. It is easy actually, but you need to be selective with your setups. Not every zone will be this clean, right? Clear market structure shift, and then you turn back to the zone, that continuation. Sometimes you will see zones on a certain time frame fails, and that's because we are delivering from a higher time frame bearish zone, right? So if that zone that failed is bullish, if the higher time frame is bearish, that's going to fail. And you will notice that I'm not fully mechanical, right? I read the narrative, I read the context, what is going on, I read the order flow, and then I'm selective with my trades, all right? So I'm not looking for that flip or that market structure shift on every single zone, and I'm buying every single flip, right? Sometimes I short this. When this flip happens, I short it instead of buying it, all right? And I'm going to show you how to do that later on in the backtesting session, right? So make sure to take some notes, all right? And I'm not going to focus on taking entries every single time. So sometimes I might know where price is heading. I might know which fractal or which zone price will reject from, but I'm not going to take trades. This backtesting session is focused on showing you how I see the market, why price did that move, or why price failed on that bearish zone and then it just kept going up, right? Why that flip failed. And of course, I'm going to take some entries, but we're going to focus on why price moves the way it moves, all right? So let's start with the backtesting, right? And before we start, make sure to follow me on my Twitter account. So I share trades, sometimes tips, right? Charts, and so on, all right? So make sure to follow me here on my Twitter account. All right, so now let's start the backtesting session, and we're going to use NinjaTrader for this backtesting session. It's free, and you can go back all the way to, I'm not sure, but you can go like 10 years easy. All right, so we have fresh data from here. This is a December 2022 contract, and we have a couple of months here and a couple of days, right? We have like 3 months of data, right? Or 4 months. If you don't know how to use the playback feature or the backtesting feature on NinjaTrader, I'm gonna link another video of a fellow trader down in the description, and he will show you how to set it up. All right, so let's choose a random day from here. All right, so let's choose maybe this one. Right, this is November 14, right? All right, so let's choose it from here, 2022, like this. So it was a Monday. I don't care about day of week because I scalp. All right, so we need to go back all the way. I'm gonna take some time to set this up, so I'm gonna fast forward this process. All right, here we go. So what we're gonna do here is that we're gonna fast forward into 10:30, right, or 10 a.m. I like to start my trading from there. And so let's start from 10:30. All right, price action is kind of easy after 10:30, right? So clear swings and clear direction of the day. So after that, been 9:30 open. All right, and I'm only gonna take like 3 or 4 trades per day. All right, so I don't like to take a lot of trades. I changed my approach to 3 or 4 trades and I'm out. I think this is better for my psychology, and I choose the 1 minute and the 5 second, sometimes the 1 second to take my trade. So the 1 minute is my higher time frame. So that gives me a lot of setups per day, and I can be selective with the trades that I can take. All right, so I can take the 4 or the 5 high probability setups that the market presented that day. All right, so this is crucial. And this is something that I really liked about this approach. So let's move forward into 10:30, right? You can see the time here. All right. So this is 10:30, and let's see what's going on in here. You can see that the market was bearish from here. It was printing higher lows, or I'm sorry, lower highs and lower lows. And then here we have a break of structure, right? This is a break of structure here. And where is the area responsible for breaking that structure? It is this one right here. As you can see, price returned back to it. It found support and then it traded higher, right? So this is the SNDR. Of course, this is the whole range, and price can come back to it later on, right? So this doesn't mean that SNDR every single time it's gonna push price higher. Sometimes it will give that rejection, and then price later on it will come back to mitigate further zones. All right, so what do we have next? This is not a valid pullback, so I'm not going to take this zone to look for continuation to the upside, although this is valid on the 30-second time frame. So if we go to the 30-second time frame, I'm pretty sure that this is valid, right? All right, so as you can see, this is the last low that created the high, and price closed below it here. So this is technically a valid zone on the 30-second, and we can see a rejection from it, right? But you might use the 3 or the 1 second to get that entry from here. But since I use my 1 minute as my higher time frame, let's stick to it, right? On the 1 minute, we don't have that valid zone, right? This is also not a valid zone on the 1 minute, but again, this is valid on the 30-second, right? And this is the area that broke or responsible for breaking the structure. All right, so let's see what's going to happen next. Now, the pullbacks we can see pullbacks happens after price tapping into zones to the left from here. All right, so we don't have that here. That's all right. We can use only this. I'm gonna show you how to rely only on the right side of the chart, right? Anyways, the pullbacks tends to happen after we tap a zone to the here, a bearish zone, all right? And let me give you an example. This is a beautiful example. So as you can see, price is now trading lower. It's printing lower lows and lower highs. And as you can see, the pullback here happened after we tapped this bullish zone. Pullback into this bearish zone. This is the SNDR, right? And then traded lower, tapped into this bullish zone. The pullback traded here. So, and then we have a pullback. So maybe we had a bullish zone on here. That's why we have that pullback. So you can trade pullbacks this way, but I don't recommend you doing that, or don't be excessive doing that. So take few pullbacks per day, right? Because sticking with the higher time frame or with the trend is going to make your setups like bread and butter, right? Price is going to rush into your TP instead of consolidating or something like that. All right, so I talked a lot before pressing the play button. All right, so I'm going to minimize doing this, and I'm going to let the candles print. And when I see a potential setup, I'm going to start sharing my thoughts with you guys, all right? So see how price returned back into the zone. As you can see, price rejected from here. On the 5-second time frame, maybe you couldn't have a clear entry from here, but if you use the 1 second or the 3 second or right the time frame, because this is valid on 30-second, then you could have taken the 1-to-1 from the 50%, from the high to the low, from the 50% to here, right? So you could have looked for a confirmation here, right? So this is why use the time frames accordingly. If you are using the 1 minute, then stick to the 5-second time frame. So if you use a 30-second here, then you can't use a 5-second. It won't be that clear, all right? So here we are trading back into the zone and into the SNDR. Price can sweep this low. So this is double bottom scenario, and then you could see another push higher. Or we can see this zone violated, this SNDR, and price now has a potential to go into this zone right here, or the origin of the zone here. So let's see what's going to happen. All right, so we tapped into the SNDR. Let's drop lower on the 5-second and see what's going to happen. Maybe you can find a setup. So remember, don't force setups. If you have an idea that price might potentially trade from here, then don't force it, guys. Go to the lower time frame and confirm it. All right, so here we don't have clear highs and lows, right? So let's see what's going to happen. We also have an unmitigated fractal here, so pay attention to it. Watch how price is going to react from here. This is an important zone. All right, so as you can see, heavy rejection from this zone. As you can see, price gave us that 1-to-1, right, from the 50% into here. I don't recommend trading this way, so putting your limit orders on every single zone or every single SNDR, right? I don't recommend it unless you know what you are doing, all right? If you have the necessary knowledge, enough knowledge to know which zones is going to hold, then you can use this approach. But if you are new Don't just put limit orders on every single zone you see, all right? That's not how it works. Because people think dtfx is like this. Now, as you can see, the area that was pushing price to the downside is now being violated. Now that's something. Well, not yet. Price didn't violate it yet. So let's watch what's going to happen. All right, so we violated that area. But also pay attention to this, guys. This is very important. Pay attention to this bearish zone. So if price violates this area that was putting price to the downside, although it didn't create a new low, but it kind of offered rejection to the downside. But here, remember that if price traded here, right, we have like a market structure shift, although this is not a valid pullback in my opinion. But the idea is, watch of this leg. If this leg broke to the upside and then here it started having rejection flips here inside this zone, then when price rejects from here, it's likely to not work. So let's see what's going to happen. All right, price trading higher. We have tapped into a zone here. Let's go to the 1 second and see what's going on. All right, the 1 second time frame. Also remember to count your swings. So this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6. I'm not sure this is a valid one. Let's see. Anyways, we have like 5 or 6 swings, and remember that the reversal can happen after 4 to 6 swings. So let's see how this zone will react. Now, although this looks like a flip, but we still have an unmediated zone here. We have the first top, and we can see another top from it right here, right? This could be a double bottom scenario. So don't rush into buying this zone. Wait. Don't rush to sell this market structure shift. All right, it looks like that we're going to break this low. So this is important. All right. Now we have this range to work with, and we have this SNDR. So this could be a nice trade to the downside. All right, so let's put this limit here and see if price is going to tap us in. All right, so as you can see, price didn't tap us in. So I told you that predict or anticipate the reversal after 4 to 6 swings and look for this inside zones with the right narrative and the right context. So not just random swings in the middle of nowhere, all right? It needs to be aligned with the narrative. Now here you need to be very careful. So if price traded to here, if price gave us that rejection, that pullback that we wanted to sell from here, now we have a target. The target is the previous range, this after price broke to here, we have this range as a target, right? So although if price failed to trade lower and then came back to take this zone, right, we can still have that 1-to-1 or 1-to-1.5, right? But here, if we have some kind of a rejection from this zone, from this range, now this could be, we could be selling the middle of an expansion to the upside, right? So you don't want to do that, all right? So let's see what's going to happen here. All right, let's remove this. So as you can see, I'm very selective with my trades. We started 10:30 and we saw a lot of price action, and it's like only 10 minutes, all right? So don't rush the process. Take setups that you are very confident with. Here I was confident with that trade, but it didn't give me that pullback, so I prefer to stay on the sideline. Watch what's going to happen here. Now here we can see a move to the downside because we have unmitigated zones. We have this market cycle shift price. This zone right here, this unmitigated zone can offer pullback to here, right? It can offer pullback. Let's see. We don't know. All right, so it didn't. Although it did offer the pullback. So this is what I mentioned in my previous video, in my latest video. I told you that you don't know if the pullback is going to be deep into here or is going to be 50% like medium, or it's going to be shallow. In this case, it's a shallow pullback. This zone, this unmitigated zone, this previous zone offered a pullback, a rejection, but it is a shallow pullback, and then price continue higher, right? So this is what I was telling you about. And let's go back to the 5 seconds so we don't get lost in the price action. See what's going here. Let's see if we're gonna violate this high right here, because this could be a double top on this zone right here. All right, so we did violate this high. This zone. This is important. I also violate this here. Now we have a range to work with, right? We have this. Let's wait. I want to see price comes back to here. We have this range. And let's go to the 1 second time frame. See what's going on there. Things are getting messy. We have this market structure shift, but I believe it is fake. Watch this zone. If we violate this zone, we are coming to this zone right here. And it looks like a nice area to buy from here. All right, looks like we are approaching the 50%. So let's take a buy from here. Let's target this and see if price is all right. So that was a nice trade, as you can see. That was a perfect trade, aligned with everything that I know. So let's analyze this trade once again. All right, let's take a step back and analyze what happened on the 1 minute, on the 5 seconds, and here on the 1 second. Pretty interesting price action happened here on the 1 second time frame. So for the people that think that the 1 second is, I don't know, like noise, then you are mistaken, my friend. I'm gonna show you something very interesting in this here that I just noticed. I'm also gonna show you why I didn't wait for the 1 second to confirm my idea, because my idea was already solid. I don't need 3 to 4 confirmations, right? So let me explain what happened here, right? And remember, guys, that this is objective of this backtesting session is not to take entries, but to show you how to identify, how to read the market, right? And then you can trade whatever you want, whatever setup you want, whatever model you want, all right? So don't stick to a pattern. All right, so let's start with the 60 second, right? All right, so what do we have on the 1 minute time frame? I told you that this is the zone price shifted structure from here, and this is the SNDR. Now, after a closer look, this is actually the zone, the range, but this is still the SNDR because this is a failure, and it was the one that pushed price higher to break above this higher, right? So this is still the SNDR, doesn't matter, right? But of course, in another time frame, in the 3-minute maybe, this is a one leg, all right? So this is why this is still valid, all right? But let's put it here. Or you know what, let's remove it to keep the chart clean. Just know that we are inside a zone here, all right? We are inside this bullish swing point, and it is the first leg in this new trend. So let's remove this. And this is the SNDR, or the area responsible for breaking that structure. Is the area responsible for this leg to the upside. Price tapped into the SNDR, right? Into the SNDR multiple times after fails to break, after this zone, this 30-second zone failed to create a new high. So this is a sweep on liquidity, right? This is a sweep inside this zone. So this is very important, and most of your high probability trades will happen after a sweep, after we sweep a high, all right, or a low. So and let's go to the 5-second time frame and read what happened. As you can see, I don't know where is my entry. Anyway, price traded into here, into the SNDR. It failed to close below the SNDR, so that gives you an early indication that price wants to go up. An early indication, guys, doesn't mean that you're gonna buy from here immediately. This is how you build the idea of going up. Price started trading up and up and up. We bumped into this zone. This is the SNDR, guys. This is the one responsible for breaking this low. This is the SNDR. So be careful with this zone. Price stops into it, rejected the downside. Another fail to create a new low and breaking below the SNDR. This is a second indication that price wants to go higher, but still we need more. We need more informations. Here we have a leg to the upside, and I told you to watch this zone again. As you can see, let's zoom in a little bit. I told you that to be careful with the double top scenario in this. So double top, basically price taps into this zone one more time, traded lower, and then one more time traded to it, and double top, and then trading lower and creating a new low. So I told you to watch this scenario and wait for this zone to get broken, at least this zone. Price traded all the way to here. So that's a third indication of going higher, right? But we still have this zone. We still have this unmitigated zone, and this is the origin of the zone. I'm sorry, this is the origin of the move. This is the SNDR. This is the origin. Once price violates the SNDR, expect a move to the origin of the move. All right? Expect a return to origin. So price still can find rejection from here, and it did. So we are here in two scenarios, and listen carefully to this, because this is how you take setups, although you don't know where market is going. Is it going to create a new low, or is it going to create a new high? So once price taps into this origin, we have now two scenarios. It will either, listen carefully, it will either create a new low and violate this SNDR, this 1 minute SNDR, and trade all the way down to the 50%, the 70% of that 1 minute swing point, or it will offer a pullback to this swing point, to this SNDR. So we have an SNDR here, right? As you can see, price taps into it, found a rejection, and then trade to the origin of the move. So we have two scenarios here. When you have these two scenarios, either we're going to create a new low, or we're going to see a pullback. Then here You can drop lower to the 1 second. I don't know if you're using the 1 minute, then you can drop lower to the 5 second time frame. And then you're going to look for a confirmation here to go lower. And your TP is this zone right here. You don't want to go to the second scenario and hope to create a new low. No, you're going to look for the first scenario, which is the pullback. You're going to steal a 1-to-1 from here. So we went to the 1 second time frame, and there was like 6 or 7 swings here, and I told you to look for reversal because we are in that narrative of reversal, either pullback or new low. And we had that reversal, but price didn't tops us in, right? And it traded all the way here. Now, price here find support, and we have a bullish flip. Now, once price is now trading higher, the narrative is now changed. You can't look for setups from here, from that area on the 1 second that the price left without tapping into it, because the narrative is changed, and now we are in an expansion to the upside. So that you can forget about that new low. All right, now this is only a pullback. So as you can see, it offered pullback, but I told you that pullbacks are 3 types: shallow, medium, and deep. And you can't always hope for the deep retracement or pullback. So price now traded above this high, but this is not important. This high is not important because we can see a double top scenario inside this origin of the move, this fractal, this origin, right? But after we violated this zone, now this is confirming that we are really bullish, all right? Price was to go higher. So that's important. We traded back into the SNDR here, and I told you that if price is gonna reject or it's gonna violate the SNDR, then expect a move to these zones right here. And that's exactly what it did here. And we took our entry from the 50%. Our stop loss, it was here, and I took 1-to-1 here. Easy 1-to-1, as you can see. It took some time, but in most times it doesn't exceed the 1 minute period. All right, so I had all these confluences together, so I didn't want to look for a third confirmation or a fourth confirmation inside the 1 second time frame. All right, so let's go to the 1 second time frame, and I will show you something that was interesting to me. As you can see, we were only like 15 minutes into the chart, and we had like 2 high probability setups. There were other setups, but I was only aiming for the high probability setups. So here what's going on. We have a reversal here, traded back into the zone. So this is a potential setup also, right? And then we had a rejection from here. This is the SNDR, I believe. So this is the this SNDR offered pullback into here, into the previous zone. And then we have an Igonore low, a high, a low into here, and then a high, right? We have this high right here. Price tried to create a new low, it failed. So this becomes a weak high, right? And then price hit it here to this unmitigated zone, and then continue lower. This one is one of my favorite setups. When price fails to create a new low right here, and so this one becomes a weak high, and we have unmitigated zone just above it, and price gives this like a fake market structure shift. People will see it as a market structure shift. This is my ultimate sell signal. This is a good setup also. Price started trading all the way to here, creating a new low. So here, what is the next or the last low? We have like a body closer below this low right here, but I prefer this high right here. I really want to see these highs right here gets traded above, right? But also remember that we have this zone right here. So price can easily sweep these highs, right? It can easily sweep these highs and then continue lower, right? So be very careful with this, because this is the zone or the area that sent price lower. We can see a double top scenario again. So violating this area, the one that pushed price lower, is very important. We have that here, right? We came back to the SNDR. Let's zoom in at this SNDR here, and we couldn't violate this SNDR with a body closure. Again, that indicates bullishness. So here, this is a very good setup. Also, this is a confirmation to go to the upside, right? And price can come back maybe later on, tap into this one, and if the narrative is not changed, we can see expansion to the upside. That's all. Let's let price move forwards. I believe that I'm gonna end this backtesting session. This is like 45 minutes. We only took one trade, but I believe that the things that I shared are way valuable than taking entries. All right, and backtest this and you will see. Let's see what's going to happen here. All right, so we didn't see a rejection from here, although we had a slight rejection, right? But we didn't see that. Okay, let's go back to the 5 second and see what's going on. So guys, this is important, and this is one of my filters. You see that I told you that price can come back to here and then expand higher. That doesn't mean that you're going to set a limit order here, right? It doesn't mean that you're going to set a limit order here, because as you can see, we have this market structure shifts. The trend now is changed, right? So you can look at least for another confirmation to the upside. All right, now I believe that this is the end of this video. It was kind of long, right? And as I said, the main objective is to show you how I read price, how I use SNDRs, right? How I use confirmations to confirm the narrative or the direction of price, right? So if you have any kind of questions, please leave them down in the comment section or DM me in my Twitter account, and I will answer you as soon as I can. Now, happy trading and good luck.